The Sports Walk is back. Watch Season 3 of Backpack Broadcasting's original web series that brings you the opinions of real sports fans. The first 2 seasons and current season are available now for viewing on the Sports Walk YouTube channel and Facebook page. Check out the 2017 NYC WebFest official selection and see what other sports fans have to say on the hottest issues in sports today. It's easy, just take the Sports Walk. Ain't Hard to Tell podcast, episode 96 from the Gotham Podcast Studio. Dexter, Henry, Brian Fonseca.
96.
You just say you get excited about the numbers as they go higher.
We're almost at 100.
That excites you.
Yes.
In a way that I'm not sure it quite excites me.
Look, man, 100 is 100. There's a lot of people that
101 is 101.
There's a lot of
99 is 99.
There's a lot of people who don't get to like 20 of these.
That's true.
You know what I mean? We just never hear about them.
That's true.
It is what it is.
I hear you on that. We have a guest today.
Yes, one that I'm excited about.
Yes. well, if you're not excited about like the way you feel about 100, are you going to tell him to leave?
What?
If you're not excited about your guest in the same way that you're excited about the
question?
number 100, are you then going to tell him to leave?
What kind of energy is this?
I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm trying to see his level of excitement for the guest.
He is the CEO and founder of Pitcher List.
So you're just not going to answer the
The
question.
first ever guest of Side Hustle, and previously my co-host on MSG's DraftKings Tonight when we were doing that show on MSG.
Yep.
Live on television during May, June, and July. So it was a 12-week run. You know what I mean?
You guys had a great run.
Yeah, we fulfilled the contract. You know
Our
what I'm
guest
saying?
is Nick Pollack. Pollack, am I saying that right?
Nick Pollack.
Pollack. See, I don't
That's
mess
all
with
right.
those
It's
names.
okay.
I think you do that on purpose because you did that on purpose for somebody else there recently.
You gotta take me down first, and then we'll bring me back
Then
up.
bring you back up.
That's what football
I
coaches
was
do.
concerned about you, Nick, man. I was trying to see Brian's level of excitement for you, if it was really genuine or not.
Oh, no, because I know what this is going to be. This is going to be great.
What is this gonna be, Brian?
This is going to be great. Let's get into Let's start with I don't know. Do I want to get you aggravated first and get into juice?
I mean, can you
Aggravated.
actually though? I don't
Juice
think that's very
baseballs.
possible. And
Should
by
we
the
get-
way, I should say,
Yes.
what is happening? Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, man, of
I'm
course.
stoked for this.
A
I don't know
Brooklyn
about
native.
you.
A Brooklyn native.
Oh,
by
I
the
didn't
way.
know that.
Yeah.
See, that should have been mentioned on Side Hustle.
I mean,
I don't believe that was mentioned.
It's Park Slope.
It's fine. I'm just south of you. I'm south of you in Kensington. So it's
Oh,
okay.
nice. All right, cool. Yeah.
Okay. No problem.
Went to Berkeley Carroll.
Yeah.
Berkeley
Same.
Carroll,
I
okay.
played with Adam Ottavino.
I hated
Okay.
Berkeley Carroll, bro. I
Of
hated
course you
Berkeley
did.
Carroll. We were Martin
Wow.
Luther. They were in our conference.
Oh, so you guys were in the same conference.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we hated you too. Actually, you know what? I'll be honest. We didn't even think about you.
Probably
Oh.
not. Probably not.
Because that means you guys sucked.
Well, y'all,
No,
man.
we just didn't care.
You sucked.
Oh, yeah. For the most part,
The only reason people say they don't think about you is because
our
you sucked.
school was good at wrestling, cross country,
Track.
and
I
track.
think
We
told me
had
that, yes.
only track out of those.
No track. Y'all
Oh, so you weren't good at
Check out
you
right
weren't good at baseball? Your school wasn't good at baseball?
Oh, we were great. We never played Luther.
Oh,
Oh,
gotcha.
but we won a championship. I wasn't on the team because in track we
Probably a
finished.
good thing for the team.
In track, we finished second for the championship and lost by like a point. And I'm not gonna get into that because that's a heartbreaking story.
I can see it still bothers you.
Yeah,
This is why I'm here. I want to hear about these stories.
but Berkeley Carroll had a long jumper that was really good, and I couldn't beat him. I medaled, but I couldn't beat him.
Sorry, man.
It pissed me off.
I
man.
could tell that it really bothers you still.
You know the thing. I have a list.
You know,
Remember,
I've been trying to hold this back for ages, but actually that was me, Brian.
Oh,
That was me in
not.
disguise.
Oh.
because he was black. It wasn't.
I hope you were not going to blackface, Nick.
Well, this has been a fantastic
It was
podcast. I'm
fantastic.
just so happy that I'm here.
Nick did not do that. We did not want to get to the show. I was just saying I hope Nick didn't do that, or nobody was doing that at that
You got to
time.
give you the A Hard to Tell experience first.
That is the experience.
But- Love it.
He says he has a list. You have a website, Pitcher List,
yes,
which is fantastic.
and QB list.
I
QB
do.
list.
Yeah, thank you
And
so much.
soon to come Swish list, which we're gonna get into all that. We got into a picture list a little bit on Side Hustle.
Yeah, because
Yep.
so for people who don't know and listening to this, can you kind of explain what these sites are and what you do.
Yeah, sure. It started just as me talking about starting pitchers every single day and having a GIF database where you could look up every single pitcher and just see a GIF of what they throw. Instead of just having a spreadsheet of, all right, he has these numbers, you can actually see his fastball move and his curveball and his changeup and understand a pitcher on a different level. Then it became so much more. We just had a lot more writers that wanted to do more things talking about baseball. And now we just do everything baseball. Podcasts, you have analysis of playoff games, you have fantasy stuff, everything you'd want out of a baseball site, we have it now. We expanded off to QB List. Now it's focused on fantasy football, but we hope to take that same approach over time there. And then next year, the plan is to do swishlist.net. The greatest pun I've ever had.
Love that.
It's double. We got 2 in there.
It's great.
Yes.
It is great.
But
it's
it's obviously going to be for basketball as well. The same spirit and mentality. Just being having expert analysis, but not giving you that wall that's normally there with readers to the experts. It's just supposed to be like your best friend talking to you about it and actually knowing what they're talking about too.
This is a sort of simple question I didn't ask you, but what made you want to expand? Because obviously you're a baseball guy. But
it's pretty easy actually. A lot of my writers are like, hey, we want to talk about football, and I said, why?
So the people that work for you really wanted to talk about other things.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone that comes in here, it's all about the passion and the positivity. Really, that's so important. I don't care how good you are, if you don't have that right attitude of really wanting to help out your other staff members, helping out the readers, then this isn't the place for you. And so we had a lot of writers that just wanted to write about football all of a sudden. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll make a site for you to do that. And they're incredibly talented, and we're really excited about what we put together this season and beyond.
how big is your staff now?
Between both football and pitch list, it's over 100.
Nice.
And he pays these guys.
Yeah.
So,
Everyone
okay.
gets paid
So
here.
that's the important thing. 'Cause
that-
we talk about stuff like this on the podcast a lot.
So that was one of the things when I was watching the first episode of Side Hustle, and I saw that with you, and I was like, kudos to you. And I think one of the things you said, and I'm kind of paraquoting you here, was you didn't want to do it if you did not feel that you could pay these guys. And it was very important for you to do that. And I thought I wanted to say, now I can say to you in person, I commend you for that, because there's a lot of people doing, free labor for some places, right? And they're not necessarily getting compensating what their value is there. And so to see that you tried to place some value upon that while giving people opportunities, salute to you, friend.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
I still feel these people deserve more. But it's over time. We just got.
you
as
do what
long
you
as we
can do.
build. I mean,
Yeah.
we doubled actually pay this year because of our success.
Wow,
Hopefully we
nice.
can keep doing that kind of stuff.
That's nice. I'm sure your employees definitely value that as well
they
too.
do.
I'm sure they do. I know Brian does. In starting this, do you feel like there was a need for what you said in the people come for this content, right, at this place, Pitcher List, and not having that wall? Did you really identify that sort of as a problem where people felt like there was kind of maybe a block or divide between the reader and the writer?
Yeah, I definitely felt that way. There were definitely a couple sites that were very good at answering questions and being, creating this community where everyone is involved. But the thing that really bothered me the most was the analysis of, I don't want to say, I'll just say that, I guess, the dude bro mentality of having to create the wedge and saying that I need to have a take, and my take is more important than your take, and I'm right, you're wrong. This incredible competition all the time, when instead it's just all of us that care so much about it, and let's just talk about it. And that's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to put out an opinion and then feel as if I can't even discuss this possibility. Every single time there's a discussion, it's so important to say, cool, that's a really good point. I like this, and let's keep talking about it. I'm weighing this for X, Y, and Z, and having that conversation instead of, no, how could you think that? It's so stupid. This guy's clearly better than the other one. And that was something I saw everywhere. I mean, that's what people thought that they should be or that they were supposed to be. And that's just so wrong. It's just not conducive to good discussion and a good community.
Agreed.
So
I feel like we're slowly moving away from that too. Like, not entirely, but we're slowly, like, more people, like Bomani and Pablo, High Noon, for example, they have a show that's, you would think is a debate format, but it's not. They're just having discussion. They often agree with each other. I think we're starting to see more just content just go in that direction.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I
really.
like that. I think that you guys are at the forefront of that in doing that, because I tend to enjoy that more.
it's so much more fun for us too, because we can just have a good talk.
Yeah.
We not feel as if my point is bad or can't be talked about. If what's really good about it too is that firsthand, I've changed my opinion mid-conversation. And a lot of times when you are combative with it doesn't matter what the other point is. You do not want to change it. But if it's a good conversation, you say, you know what? Actually, I didn't consider that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And you don't feel that innate pain that actually is associated with changing your opinion. It's like a whole psychological thing. Like if someone tells you you're wrong, it's your identity that's getting challenged. But if you do it the right way, it's not your identity. It's just you having a good time.
And you learn.
Exactly.
So what are some of the things, if somebody comes to the pitcher list, they can see that are being discussed in baseball today?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, I'm a huge pitching guy. I am like every single pitcher, every single day, I talk about what they did yesterday as every starting pitcher. So if you come to pitcher list, you see my SP roundup, you can say, hey, you know what? I actually don't think this guy is what you think he is. You know, he had a really one bad inning, but then he had a fantastic start otherwise, and that's really fun stuff. And we'll have that conversation. Well, okay, his slider wasn't as good early on, and then he got better, etc. That kind of stuff you'll definitely see. You'll see a lot of going deep pieces just about one guy and talking about his transformation through the year, what he's done better and what his approach has been, and how this could suggest that he keeps it up or goes down, that kind of stuff. But I mean, if you're talking about the broader scope of baseball, I mean, I know you want to talk about the juiced ball.
We'll get to that.
Oh yeah,
we'll get to
that soon.
And I'm
so excited.
I actually
The pitcher list CEO is not going to be here for all these BS home runs.
So,
all right.
So I before we get to that, I want to bring it back to a pitcher, because you said you'll look at starting pitchers every day and sort of, look at what they've done. Do you guys also look at relief pitchers as well, too?
Oh, yeah. No, so this is the cool part about the site is that I get to just do what I want to do, and everyone else gets to do what they want to do.
Great.
That's the whole idea. Write about what you want to write about, not what we have to.
Okay,
Right.
so with that,
we have relievers, we have hitters, we have everything.
With that being said, I'm a Mets fan.
Yeah,
Brian
sorry.
probably knows where I'm going. It's okay. You should feel sorry for me. I take that you're a Yankee fan by that.
Oh, yeah.
comment.
It's like a little brother to us.
He's
Yankee
See,
fan.
he just told me he doesn't care about us.
No, of course. I care about my sibling.
No, good. Okay, that was nice. Good. That was nice. Okay, I respect that. I have no hate towards the Yankees either. I used to be like that. I grew out of that.
I'm proud of you.
Same.
Yeah, you got to mature it. Like you
I mean,
said.
I was 5 years old and I wanted to be happy in life, so I became a Yankee fan.
Ow, ouch.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I wouldn't say I'm miserable. I'd say I'm.
I'm happy you need to establish that.
Yeah, I felt like I needed to be, because I was like, he's happy and I'm not. I would say troubled at times.
Yeah.
I mean,
That might be the way I'll put it.
I mean, this is the one question I'll ask is,
Sure.
how did you feel at the trade deadline? Did you feel that they did what they should have done, gone for it? Do you think they should have dealt?
I'm surprised.
We talked about
I was
this for a
actually
while.
surprised they didn't deal.
Okay.
Right? However, I did think the addition of Stroman for what they were looking to do long term was actually good.
That was a great trade. They
Yeah,
gave up nothing.
I agree.
Nothing.
I agree.
So
I agree.
it was shocking. I was actually shocked at that. If I had to use a word, I'd say shocked, because I didn't think they were going to add anything, but I liked that they added, and the team actually really responded and started playing a little bit good before that. And then after, I'll get into this after, but I'm actually very much at peace with the Mets season, because this was the thing for me. I predicted this year, I said they could win 84 games. That's what I thought they'd win. At the time of recording this, they were at 85. Basically, they did what I thought they would do. I know they didn't make the playoffs. I thought they could compete for a second wildcard spot. They did. They just fell short. I'm not terribly disappointed.
More importantly, they did all that without having a true closer.
Now, that's what I'm getting
Which you're about to get into.
Which is what I was getting to, Nick.
I'm
You
so
do
disappointed in this
evaluations
guy,
of
bro.
pitchers. This man's Puerto Rican brother.
Listen,
okay?
let me tell you something. Real quick before we
I
get
didn't
into
realize
it.
that, Brian.
Let me tell you before we get into it.
You didn't?
The first taping that I did at MSG, in IKEA, right? The People
Yes.
Talking Sports in IKEA that aired on MSG Shorts. They asked us, all of us in the car,
yeah.
who was the New York athlete that you would want to party with one night,
I don't
right?
think you want to party with him now.
That was my answer. That the gentleman we're about to talk about now.
Edwin Diaz.
So you could imagine, and I said it flatly because we're both Puerto Rican and we're about the same age, so I really think we could mess things up in New York City, which sounds like something I would say word for word, and that's exactly what I said.
Yes, it does.
Looking back on it now, that did not age well. And this was February? So,
But
February, yeah.
Yeah. Edwin Diaz.
Edwin Diaz.
Not a good season. I think by the standards
He got
of
a
many
save
people.
yesterday.
We are also proud because Seth Lugo was shut down.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantasy team.
What do you make of him? Because you said this is a guy who has been wildly inconsistent, would even be an understatement here.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Disappointing, up and down, to the point where I think most Mets fans would say when he came in the game,
Not
you
even
felt
up
like
and down, just down.
You felt like you couldn't trust him.
Yep.
It looked like I feel like you know better than me. It looked like he completely lost his confidence. What am I to make of Edwin Diaz from this season? And also, should I have any confidence that he can rebound in 2020?
So, all right, on the last point, pitchers are very finicky things. They're all human, believe it or not.
They're not robots.
It's a lonely position.
As my co-host on the Corner podcast, we would say he's Alex Think Fast, because that's always the mental part of it. So Alex Think Fast has arrived. As we talk about, what is it like? You're not confident all of a sudden. Relievers have the hardest job, where they are expected to be great every single time. And they have such a small sample. I mean, some relievers, 50 innings in a season, that's sometimes a quarter of a starting pitcher, right? That's such a small sample. We talk about a month or so for a start, and then he's great for 5 months. That's pretty much what a reliever is, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of nuts. You only have so many times to do well, and then your confidence goes down. If it's 2 games in a row, you blow a save. That's it. That could be the entire season right there. Now with Edwin Diaz, his slider was terrible. And this is hilarious, because this is a really good pitch. This is supposed to be, this was a pitch last season, was a 56% strikeout rate on the pitch. And just to put that in perspective, normally with a good breaking ball or so, that's like 40%. This is the pitch that was, okay, I'm going to be awesome with it this year at 36%, so down 20 points. That's not, you can't be Edwin Diaz without that pitch, right?
Right.
Batting average allowed on it, I'm just going to throw stats because it's really fun.
No, this is great.
Yeah,
Please.
121 batting average allowed on that slider last year. That's great. That's so low. That's crazy, right? 300 this year.
300.
300 on that slider.
How many homers did he give up on the slider?
Surprisingly, only 6.
Only 6.
But that
on the
is
slider.
over about 362, which you don't really want to see. About 2 per 100. That's not good. You want to see like 1 per 100.
But then those numbers would tell you if he only gave up 6 homers on the slider. It seemed to me, and I'll think about it watching games, a lot of people obviously were waiting. He had no confidence in it, and they're waiting on the fastball. When the fastball comes,
sure.
There you
so,
go.
it's so there's a lot of things. If he doesn't feel that slider right, then you know that, okay, he's going to throw a fastball. He's going to sit on it, just like what you're saying. There is something to be said just about the Mets as a whole. Their sliders were terrible in the first half.
now we're talking about all their pitches.
All of them.
Syndergaard,
So Matz didn't
yeah.
even throw his. He's talked
Yep.
about his elbow bothering him when he throws it, and eventually he's like, oh, I'm having a bad season. Fine, I'll start throwing sliders. I don't care. DeGrom slider at first, the first month, was not good, and then he picked it up. Changeup was also took some time, but we were talking before the podcast, Brian, about essentially since the start of May, he's had near 2 ERA.
Yeah.
It's stupid. He should win the Cy Young. Anyway.
You should.
Anyway, Syndergaard was talking about it being like a block of ice in his hand, and he couldn't throw a slider properly. And he still never really even found a slider the entire season.
Nope.
So I'm not too surprised that Edwin Diaz is also kind of lumped in, like, oh yeah, sliders in New York. See ya, I'm out. I don't know what it is exactly. If you're talking about confidence for next year, you don't know. We don't know. You have Blake Trinan, for example, nasty stuff.
Yep.
Great, and now not really executing and being terrible. Then all of a sudden in 2018 was unreal, and then went down again. And this is the thing: you have the samples that we normally see through a full season. Month by month is essentially every full year for a reliever. So it could come back. It could be one of those things like, okay, I needed to just make the mental adjustment of getting out on my slider, and all of a sudden I throws like 5 good ones, and then it feels great going to spring training, and it does well, and everything is fine. But we don't know.
You know what this does when I hear you say that and all that?
Yeah.
It makes me really actually appreciate Mariano Rivera.
Oh,
when you really
yes.
seriously,
Yes,
when
really.
you really think back about it,
It's
and
unreal.
just
The baseball
how good
player.
and how good and how
Important,
consistent
important clarification.
how good and how consistent he was. The political
Yeah.
associations aside,
Yeah.
it makes you actually really appreciate that and how rare that was.
It really, really was. And the fact they only really threw one pitch, too.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the other thing.
It was just so good and so consistent. It really is a marvel. And this is why when we're going through it, we're just calling him the greatest closer of all time. And everyone was like, yeah, but there's this one guy, Eric Gagne, one year is doing great. Like, I get it.
Yeah, you're like,
people-
yeah, pump the brakes,
just
Eric
wait.
Gagne.
And people also like to bring up Trevor Hoffman, which is hilarious.
Yeah, Trevor Hoffman's great too, but he's not
But he's
Mariano.
not
Yes,
yeah,
there's
that's what I
better
mean.
It's
class.
just it's really, baseball is a consistency sport. We talk about even hitters to win an MVP award or so, you can't take a month off.
Well, you think
can't
Mike
do-
Trout
yeah.
is the GOAT.
He is
for,
the GOAT
for this reason.
for consistency.
Yes,
but
that's
not
another-
necessarily one night, right?
Yeah,
That's what
right.
we talked about DFS,
Right.
right? But yeah, that's it. That's what breeds success in baseball is consistency. That's why we have 162 games and not football with 16. It's a stupid sport. I'm not saying that because I love baseball. It's just you only have 60 minutes, and maybe you're on the field as an offense for 20 minutes, and that's 1/16 of your season.
It is.
That's just ridiculous.
It is though. Some people will say the other
11
way,
minutes of action.
that
by the way.
that
On
that
average.
matters. So the argument for other people, I'm not saying I disagree with you, is that, oh man, that matters so much more. Like
every possession counts, all this.
But you need 162 games to understand, like, oh, okay, this guy's actually good, instead of, oh, okay, great example.
Do we need 162 games?
If you looked at the first 2 weeks of the season, Stalin Castro was terrible, and then all of a sudden 4 months he was great and actually had an okay season.
Yeah.
But there are guys, I think it was Miguel Rojas even, that had like a really good first 2 weeks of the year.
Yes.
And like that's the football season. Oh, great, Miguel Rojas is amazing. And that's ridiculous. That's just, you can't do that. So yeah, I understand what you mean. Do we need 162 games? That's fine. That's a really good point.
Right.
But,
no, I was just literally asking you. Like, I was wondering how you feel about.
We've talked about.
It's so necessary. It's so necessary.
No, I agree with you that because of the nature of baseball, taking things in small sample sizes is kind of ridiculous, right?
Exactly.
Like just the
slumps could last
this is a
forever.
sport where you're successful hitting if you fail 70% of the time.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you can't have small sample sizes. I completely agree.
New podcast alert. Life coaches Marguerite Pierce and Lindsay Jackson are bringing a rich blend of laughter, love, and wisdom to their podcast Necessity. The pod seeks to reestablish the basic tenets of self-love, self-confidence, goal accomplishment, and the ability to love life on your own terms. Necessity is available on all major podcast platforms, so grab a cup and listen up as two coaches are on a mission to shift perspective, one sip at a time.
There's a lot of talk about shortening the season or, making things faster in baseball. Like, how you feel about all that?
So, okay, you do not need to speed up the game. That whole idea is just ridiculous to me. I remember as a kid, the game being slower, and this is the greatest game ever. I mean, if you look at the 90s kids, I don't think I was in my own little bubble. We loved baseball. It was a really popular time with
my
kids.
generation loved baseball too.
Exactly.
We all grew up playing Little League.
And it was a slower game than now.
Yeah.
There's nothing innately wrong with it. There are certain things I think are better, keeping the batters inside the batter's box.
Me too. I agree with that.
Little things like that. The manager visits, I think that's an interesting point.
I like
the
that
mound
they
visits,
cut
rather.
the mound visits. I like that they cut those down. I like that.
It's actually one of those things I think that people the teams aren't using enough. They're too worried to use them, and then there are many times when you need to talk to the pitcher that no one is because we only have 5 left. Like you're not going to use them.
Yeah,
you're gonna have 3 left at the end of it. It's like getting 5 timeouts for 1 quarter or something, and you don't use a timeout. You got to save all 5. Like, what are you talking about? Just use
right.
It.
Yeah. Right.
But those little things are great. Pitch clock, no. Get out of here. that. Oh my God, no.
Wow, you could really hear the disdain you have for that.
That just bothers me so much because they're really. It's you take the best part about baseball is the tension. The tension between every single pitch, especially in the playoffs.
I
getting
agree.
closer to juice ball talk.
I did this on purpose,
No. I'm with you on that. That's the beauty of baseball. It's the tension, especially in the playoffs.
That's why we love playoff
One of
baseball.
the greatest games that I've ever seen is the bug game. I don't know if you remember this 2007 playoffs where the Indians and the Yankees.
Jabba Chamberlain.
Fausto Carmona was on the other side. It was Andy Pettitte for 6 innings, I believe, and then Jabba Chamberlain came in and the midges or I think that's what they were called.
The bugs.
The little tiny bugs just swarmed him, and it changed the entire. I don't know how that game wasn't suspended for a moment or whatever, but fine, that game happened. But I think a lot of people forget that was a 1-0 game because Andy Pettitte for 5+ innings, I think it was 5 or 6, was amazing in getting out of jams. That should have been a 5-run game for the Indians. It was only 1, and bases loaded jams. He was getting out of them. There wasn't offense, but there was innate tension every single pitch. It took 30 seconds or so, not the 15 or 20 that they want, which is ridiculous. You felt it every single time, and then we get that ground ball, and it was just as a fan watching this, we want guys on base because it's more fun adding the tension to it. And not necessarily the runs on the board. Who cares necessarily? It's just about what's happening every single pitch. How are they doing it? And I mean, for me personally, it's obviously different because I see the game less so as an event that is like, this is a single, this is a walk, this is a strikeout, a home run, whatever. I see it pitch by pitch. I mean, Brian, we watched games.
Yeah.
That Tanaka start.
Yeah.
We were predicting each pitch that was happening, right?
Yeah.
You found actually how easy it was.
Yeah.
You understood, oh, right, he doesn't have a splitter now. You just bounce that one. He doesn't have confidence in it. He's going to throw his slider and his fastball. Oh, man, is Devers going to hit that or not?
He threw like 7 straight sliders for balls.
Right. But that's the thing. He couldn't execute it down and in because that's what he's trying to do.
Yes.
And the more that you understand those things, oh, man, it is there's not enough time to really like talk about everything that's going on in between each pitch. So if they want to shorten that, no, don't take that away from me.
I'm with it's
But they're
on
not.
the same page.
The problem is like when they talk about shortening it too, they're not catering to you. They're trying to cater to the quote unquote average person, and the average person, I don't think is going to care about a lot of what you're talking about.
I think you're right. I will say the average person was me as a kid, and that was no problem in the first place. Second, I would say don't try and shorten it. Try and educate. Try and elevate the people. Try and be like, this is what's going on.
Let me say this too.
And get people that are broadcasting it to help teach you, like, oh yeah, this guy's going to try and throw
the
this
education's an interesting point.
Yeah, and of all the leagues that have their own channel, NBA TV, MLB Network is easily the best one and most informative out of all of them. NHL, NFL Network, MLB is easily the best channel, and I think if more people watch that, they get into baseball more.
I think they do a fantastic job.
Great.
I think societally we're at this point where we choose to not educate as much and try to like let's, for lack of a better term, dumb it down, right?
Yeah,
Sure,
or make
definitely.
make it anything easily digestible, easier for you to consume.
They're like
in
that
terms
with
of
media,
time.
with music,
Yeah,
everything.
and that part of it bothers me. It's interesting because you're not this. And I think Nick is not this guy who's like, oh man, I didn't want to do anything to speed up the game at all. Like he's with me on the same page. We like the amount of mound visits because I feel like sometimes that gets to be a bit too much, right?
Yeah.
Or we like keeping the batters inside the box and stepping out and everybody adjusting their their gloves and stuff.
Ridiculous.
Thought those things I thought were too much.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan.
I can get it from a routine perspective, though.
I got it, but stay in the box. Stay in the box.
Routine.
Get a new
You know?
routine,
There
and
you
you
go.
can adjust. People.
Well, yeah, you could just move to the other side of the box, take a swing real
Yeah,
quick.
right.
and then
It's
just-
easy.
It's like in the NBA. I didn't mind them saying like, "Hey, you can't go past the key or the 3-point line when you step out for a free throw," because he had dudes like Russell Westbrook who were walking a half court
Yeah.
and coming back. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
And his free throw percentage has gone down
It's gone
since.
down, but he's-
I don't know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
but I do.
right, because it's in the same vein, right? It's in the same vein of that, and so
Well,
I think-
you know basketball though. You know Russell
No,
Westbrook,
I'm
right?
playing into this. of
Yeah.
course.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
No, but obviously in the same vein, I think that look, we can make things more efficient. We can still be likable, but yes, you can still educate. I think that's a great point, right?
Yeah.
You can understand
Learning's
the
supposed to be
intricacies
fun.
of the game, why the tension is good. I think you were able to clearly explain that. Other people could do that and say, "Oh man, maybe I'll look at this playoff baseball game and understand." Why between this 2-1 count with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th and the bases loaded, why this 30 or 45 seconds before he throws his pitch, what he's thinking about, how he's communicating with his catcher, why all that matters,
So
right?
good. I mean, the innate
I think it's
tension
great.
is just the best part about baseball. Well, one of my favorite quotes is that once you realize that time is measured in outs, eternity is just a single away, where you just got to keep
who
getting.
said that?
I don't remember it.
I
don't
like
remember
that.
it, but I love it. I mean, I'm maybe even paraphrasing it, but that's essentially it. It's just like there's no set clock. Yes, there's a lower chance of doing well. Of course, I mean it's 22-1, and you're down to 1 out left.
Right.
Fine, you're not going to win that game.
Right.
But the innate, just there's always time. You always need to throw the ball over the plate. Earl Weaver said that one. You got to give the guy his opportunities. So I love that innate part about baseball. And the more that you want to, as you said, dumb it down for people. I understand. As a culture, that's what we do now. We want the shallow level. We want to do less. Our attention is so valuable now. There's all these things trying to grab it more so than ever.
Yeah.
And so you have to appeal to that. But it's ruining it for guys like me. I mean, I guess I'm old school in that way of just this is such a beautiful sport. And the fact even that stolen bases are still such a question mark. The perfect
My favorite stat in
nature,
baseball.
the
Nick
perfect
knows this.
Yeah, right. Well, no, the perfection of the diamond in 90 feet to first base and how that's still not that's still perfect. For a grounder and going off to second base, the whole thing is just
You're
great.
now speaking to something that I am annoyed that's really gone from the game.
Stolen bases.
Yes.
Yes.
This
Because look
to
at how
me-
valuable it is in the playoffs.
This to
right.
this to me, growing up,
Yeah.
was one of the things I loved about the sport.
Yes.
I've always loved the speedy guy. I've always loved seeing
Ricky
the guy.
Henderson.
I love Ricky Henderson.
No wonder he's your co-host.
Yeah. Oh no, he likes the short and speedy guys. He's really
Oh yeah,
on that
Gerard
team.
Dyson's my
Yeah.
guy. What do you
I
mean?
loved
Love
Reyes.
Billy Hamilton when he can
Malik
hit.
Smith now.
Yeah.
Malik
Yeah.
Smith now,
Yes.
yeah. I used to get on Malik Smith, and he shut me up real quick.
Yeah, no, I loved Reyes in 06. These guys stealing. You don't see that anymore. I hate that that's out of the game. Let's jump to something that seems like we all might hate here. It seems like we all are not fans of the juice ball.
No,
And,
get out of here.
and let me tell you why real quick.
Go ahead,
Because
please.
baseball wants to speed up the game, quote unquote, right? By juicing up the balls, we're just getting more home runs. And we're getting longer games and less action because you're not getting the base runners, Nick, that we were just talking about, and that tension because you're just seeing balls get out of the home run park and things like that. Yes, as a Met fan, I like seeing Pete Alonso hit 53, but it kind of is a little bit with an asterisk because the balls are juiced, and without the juice balls, he probably gets 40. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I've been a long time an anti-steroid guy. I don't want Nick to speak on this, but why are we okay with juicing the balls but not juicing the players?
Exactly.
Right? Like that's kind of this.
Like,
this
nah, we're
weird
gonna
thing
drug
here.
the ball instead of the people.
But and I'm not a steroid person. I am not for it, obviously, but it's
hypocrisy.
hypocritical to juice the balls, but
It's just straight
not
hypocrisy.
find the people.
There's so much to unpack here.
Please unpack. This is why we're here.
And as at Pitcher List on Twitter, you have to be annoyed by this because it also hurts the pitching metrics that we see. Like guys like Noah Syndergaard having a 4 ERA all season.
Well, okay.
Syndergaard,
do not bring Syndergaard into this because Syndergaard has his own issues that juice ball aside.
Well, I'm saying
have
guys
that problem.
but yeah,
fair
you
enough.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Why'd you have to bring his name? All right. Okay. So first of all, talking about the steroid era versus the juice ball era, this is still a problem. Steroids it's not something that is just gone from the game. Yes, guys are some guys are getting suspended and that's it. But there are, I mean, if you think that those are the only players that are juiced,
come on.
I mean, so many are, and I don't have inside information. This is all completely just conjecture or whatever.
Right.
But it's very apparent that there are things, and it's just pushing the limit of like what MLB will catch you on or allow, and it's one of those cases, kind of like Trevor Bauer talking about the Astros. Maybe they're using pine tar on their hands and stuff, and you see pitchers all the time with goop on their hats and all that kind of stuff, and it's one of these unwritten rules. It's kind of like looked away from, but it doesn't make sense. Just make it the rule, be like, okay, you can or you can't. And honestly, if you ask me, I mean, when it comes to PEDs and all that kind of stuff, you either need to do the most rigorous, unbelievable, every single rule done. You're banned for life if you get out of it. You have to be that rigorous about it, or don't do it at all. There's no gray area. This gray area is just ruining everything, and that's a problem there. At the same time, I enjoyed baseball in the 90s. I know the steroid era, it was a thing. It didn't make it better, but it's baseball. I enjoyed it. I loved the Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire.
We all did.
thing.
Yeah.
It was great, and I think there's often a blanket haze or a disgust or so that we look back at that, like, oh, the steroid era. Oh man, these guys is not real baseball. Nevertheless, like I look back and then those are some of the best days of baseball.
Those were fun.
That,
but that was when baseball was
but
the
that's
number
the
one
thing.
sport.
Well, the thing too is also that, I mean, we have the juice ball now, and we look at home run numbers. There's more home runs now than ever.
Okay, so I just pulled this up, right?
It's ridiculous.
The record for
agree.
most home runs in a season for the league, for Major League Baseball, is 6,106
Yeah,
that they
this year,
set.
though.
That was set this year on September 11th,
Yep.
right? We're still like 2-3 weeks left to play in the regular season.
The Yankees had the most home runs as a team last year,
The
and
Twins.
multiple teams have gone past them.
Past
Twins did it first,
Right.
Yes.
but multiple teams are past that now. I mean, there's so many stats. I tried to find more beforehand, but there are things like there's one metric I don't remember exactly, but essentially only 23 teams had done it, and then now 24 teams as a whole have done it this year.
What I mainly don't
It's just crazy how many home runs are being hit.
and what I mainly don't like to the points of that both of you guys made is that you're not also seeing the base runners. You're seeing mostly solo home runs
Right,
because
yeah.
RBIs are down. RBIs are down for a lot of these guys too that are getting these home runs, and you're not seeing contact. You're not seeing batting average. You're just seeing home runs or strikeouts. So you're not seeing. You're just you're seeing.
Don't forget walks in there. 3 true outcomes.
Right. So you're seeing strike, foul ball, home run.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's
so,
not a lot of.
So this is what I would do, and I know this is nuts to say, to even suggest.
It might not be.
Come on.
It's the anti-Mets approach, which I mean is they had it right, and then they messed it up, where they brought in the fences. Push them back. That's all you need to do. Just push back the fences a bit. If you're really too worried about this, then you just get doubles, then you get triples and stuff. That's fine.
Which I like. I don't think they're going to. I love the way City
They're
Field
not gonna
actually,
do
Citi Field
this.
actually played before, but they're not going to do it.
That's one proposal.
So
that
now
would
I
have.
see why you said it's
They pushed
it's
it
not
back
gonna be
because
popular.
David Wright had 10 home runs in a season.
Yeah. They're not. That's why they're not going to.
No, they're not going to. There's no way that's going to happen. Also, the players are not going to want that
They
because
want home
they
runs.
want numbers. They want their
Numbers.
paycheck.
I mean, well,
they want
yeah.
arbitration that still favors wins and RBI and runs as yeah. So so they want
Wins.
that stuff.
So the
Wins.
systems-
I know.
I can get to that in a
Oh,
whole nother. That's a whole
We
nother.
just,
thing.
need, we
The
just need
systems
a
are
new
broken.
metric. That's all we need.
The systems are
That's
broken,
easy.
basically.
I agree. Well, we do. Wins. The people who still value wins. I don't understand why.
Yeah, I
they
know.
never were valuable in the first place. That's the first thing. It's literally the most overrated stat in sports. I've said this before.
Wins, pitching wins?
Pitching wins. Absolutely. Like what does it mean?
What's more overrated than pitching
because
wins?
if you're and you can speak to this more.
What
and
about
I'd love
points?
to hear your
What about
thoughts.
points per game?
No, I still think that means something, but like you should evaluate what kind of team you're playing on, who you're playing with,
Yeah.
How many opportunities
and
you
how many
have.
opportunities you get to
Efficiency
that, right?
and
So,
things.
But I do feel like it means a little bit more than wins, right? And here's why: because wins, a lot of wins to me, and I would love to hear this because you're a
Yeah,
former
sure.
pitcher. A lot of it comes down to how much run support you get,
100%,
right?
yeah.
So if I get a whole bunch of run support, but then I give up 5 runs, but my team spotted me 9 in the first inning. Yo, I can be good, right? But that doesn't mean that I am good.
I think I got one for you. Well, go ahead, Nick.
Well, okay, so in 2016, Rick Porcello won the Cy Young Award over Justin Verlander.
Yes.
I call him the thief because of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
You call him the thief?
I call him the thief.
He has nicknames for literally
Oh,
everybody.
I have
I
too
like
many.
this.
But he had 22
After
wins
this,
that
tell
year.
him the Vargas rule because he'll like
Oh,
that
yeah,
one.
22.
Jason-
he had
as in
22
Jason Vargas?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. 22 wins in 2016. In that season, I believe he had over 2 more runs per start on the Red Sox than any other starter. So his run support was like essentially 25% more than anyone else. I mean, of course you're going to get 22 wins.
Right.
I mean, you had a 3.15 ERA, which was good. Actually, that was a year of like bad ERAs, but that was a season also that Verlander from May 15th on had a 2.42 ERA. He deserved it so much, but he didn't have 22 wins. So there you go. The run support wasn't there. I 100% agree with you. The win is stupid. The problem is we don't have. I mean, how elegant is a win? That's a wonderful stat. It sounds
Right.
great.
It sounds nice, right?
It's beautiful. Oh, that pitcher won. He won it for his team. You know, it's ridiculous. And that's the only reason why we're really holding on to it. We had an opportunity in quality start. I think quality start is a bad metric too because of 4 point. I have a stat called the VPQS, which is when a guy goes 9 base runners exactly and then allows 3 earned runs in 6 innings. So very poor quality start.
Right.
And then you add another V for every base runner. So if he adds 10 base runners, it's a VV poor quality, and then so on and so forth. Then you can do the people. It doesn't matter. Anyway.
I still like it because it shows you the exact quality.
It just
of
said like
that.
that's not a good start,
Sorry,
especially
right.
in fantasy.
You should
which,
see when
we're
he-
not talking about that, but
you
4.5 ERA hurts you. That's not a good thing.
You should have seen when he
point.
explained this to Bill Pito. It was hilarious.
Oh man, I loved messing Bill
was
Pito
his,
up.
was,
That
his,
was great.
was his mind blown, or could he?
I mean, him. I told him about the Vulcan changeup of Chris Paddock,
Yeah.
and I was like, "So you make the Vulcan sign?" And he goes like, "What is the Vulcan?"
It's on his reel, I think.
Like it's a Vulcan. It's great. I love. Oh, Bill Pito is the best.
So do you think that people are? Because I don't know how. I haven't had this conversation a lot. Do you think people are on our side, or how we all feel about the wins? Are we trending to finding a better metric to actually evaluate pitchers in baseball?
100%, yeah.
So you feel like it's trending in the right way
Yes.
with that?
Oh,
okay.
totally. The fact that DeGrom won the Cy Young last
year was
you know,
good.
and even Felix winning it, I believe he had 13-12 or 12-11.
He was like 13, yeah.
Yeah,
He was
and
like
he
500.
had that over someone that had a 17 or 18 win year. Which
Yes.
again, think about that. It's just 5 games of you pitched 1 earned run ball and the guys didn't get the win for you. You know,
Right.
it's ridiculous. So the win is terrible. I think there are a lot more. I don't know. We can essentially just improve upon the quality start. If we wanted to define it as 6 innings or 5, it could be a situation of if you have a 10-1 lead and it's your 5 innings in, like you don't need to stay in there. So just give some guys some other opportunity. I don't know. There are a lot of opportunities for it, but we just gotta. I don't know. Just don't call it a win.
Yeah, let's get rid
That's
of
the
it.
problem.
Give us 3. Well, first completion percentage. That's what I wanted to say.
Completion. Oh, in football,
In terms of overrated.
that's up there. That is up there. I'll
Completion
give you that.
percentage.
That is up there.
Very
Oh,
overrated.
if he throw like a little shove,
If
little
he's-
screen pass or something like
Because
that.
he hates like
Everyone
somebody
throws
who's
70% now.
8 for 11 for 79
Everyone's
yards.
going
you know.
8 for 11.
I know you're not the big football
Oh,
guy,
no, no.
but
Well,
like,
I mean,
yeah.
Everyone at the end of the first half of a football game is 11 for 14 for 102 yards and a touchdown with no interceptions, and it pisses me off.
I was actually talking.
I hate it.
I was talking to Chris Towers yesterday just about like the we have the shift in baseball. We have all these advanced analytics and what kind of stuff is changing in football. And the idea is that you don't have any 400 carry guys anymore. You have running backs. It's moving away from running backs and moving towards your passers.
Well, that part of it is because people are so worried about concussions and CTE.
Well, the running backs, but the running back been devalued too.
It's almost like football as a whole just shouldn't exist because it's American gladiators and it's true.
That is a whole nother story about whether it should exist or not. Here's the thing:
it's a terrible.
At some point in society, I think we're going to look back and be like, "Yo, doing that was kind of stupid."
Backpack Broadcasting continues to bring you the best original sports content, but now you can get more of the content you love. For as little as $3 a month, you can get access to bonus content, including behind-the-scenes footage and interviews from the Sports Walk, Sideline Stories, or the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. All this exclusive content comes via Patreon. There are tiered levels of patronage, and each Backpack Broadcasting patron receives exclusive perks. Your support helps Backpack Broadcasting create more of the original content that you love. Visit Backpack Broadcasting's Patreon page and become a patron today.
Give me your favorite 3 pitching metrics to actually measure, because wins aren't obviously one of them.
Sure.
To actually measure a pitcher's greatness.
Okay, so we have a lot of different ways you can look at it. There's no right answer here. Just so we're clear, I will say.
But the 3 that you normally use,
the ones that I use to really judge, like, okay, is this guy performing well?
Yes.
So a guy can do well in one thing, but if he's not consistent through the entire start, then that's a problem itself. But I, for example, have a stat called strikes plus whiffs, CSW. It just says how many times is a pitcher doing something positive for him. So a called strike or a whiff, that is, anytime he gets a strike that is called by the umpire, the guy doesn't swing, or the guy swings and misses. Not foul balls, flat out misses. This is always a positive for a pitcher, right? It's just I'm doing well, you're not.
Right.
So the more that you can say, oh, this guy gets higher CSW than the other pitchers, that's clearly an indication of success. Right?
Makes sense to me.
And removes any sort of luck you could say about a batted ball or weak contact or anything like that. I mean, there is obviously a skill to that, but that's so much harder to quantify. So that's something I definitely look at a lot. Obviously, strikeout percentage is just clearly a good thing.
Yeah.
Right.
The one that I think is overlooked a decent amount is innings per start. To be an effective pitcher, you need to go deep into the game.
7.
It's kind of amazing how well the Brewers have done in September, say for the last couple games, when their starters aren't even going a full 5 innings. It's really just maddening because guys are doing really well, but they say, oh, hey, it's the 3rd time through the lineup. Get out of here. You're done, because we don't want to risk you facing this guy a 3rd time today. So they'll be pulled in the 5th inning with 1 or 2 outs. And so it's just 4.2 innings. That's it. Done. And it's ridiculous. This is something like 3 years ago. 3 years ago, if you saw this once or twice from a pitcher, like, what? Was he hurt? Was something wrong? And now we're used to this. 6-inning guys are just not as popular as they used to be. So it's about going deep into a game, 6+ innings, having effectiveness with your pitches, and getting guys out with K rate. I would say also, I mean, if you can have a low hit per 9, that's great, but sometimes that is luck based. You have to have a good BABIP, which is, I mean, this year Verlander is a 219 BABIP, which is nuts. It's like the 3rd lowest in the past 25 years or so.
Yeah, I'd read that.
Marco Estrada, 217 or 216, and Julio Teheran last year at 217. 2 guys I hate. It's so maddening. It's so maddening. I mean, I love them when they work. Don't worry. I don't actually hate a pitcher, but it's just like, oh my God.
Who's the speaking of Cy Young races? Who's the best pitchers in the game in each league that you'd say right now?
Oh man.
Well, we know DeGrom.
Yeah.
Are you not trying to give DeGrom love?
Well, you're talking about the absolute quintessential best pitcher.
Yeah, like no,
right? I mean,
whatever you.
So we're not necessarily talking about
season.
this season of like how good was this season consistently.
No,
I had to say. I mean,
are you saying overall, Dex?
Yeah, and I'm kind of saying like almost even take that overall. Your thoughts. Maybe you can look at some metrics and hey, if I take this pitcher for one game, who you
right?
taking?
Yeah, no, yeah. You got. I still go to Grom. I still do that. Don't worry. Don't take your boy Ryu. No way. Get out of here.
I love Hyunjin Ryu.
That's your boy?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, he's doing it with like a 23% K rate. It's just so much luck in the field. I mean, they have a great defense,
which
not
helps.
what Marcus Stroman has, which is why he has a 1.51 WHIP before his last start as a Met. It's a terrible matchup for him. Like the Mets don't fit what Stroman does
as a ground ball pitcher.
Yeah,
right.
it's the worst defense.
He doesn't have a good defense. Right.
So
Well,
Ross
Ahmed
and
Rosario's-
Bandits are like, no, don't go to the Mets.
But see, I'm glad you look at
That's
that stuff because that stuff all matters, right?
And
too.
people don't think about
I mean,
that,
it
too.
affects Stroman a lot, you know.
Yep.
So he's done
Well, Ahmed
well,
Rosario
but
should be a good fielder. He just underperformed this year.
it's just
So you're taking DeGrom in the National League if you had to.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I mean, what Jack Flaherty has done over the past 2 months, 3 months has been
great.
absurd.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we're talking like a 1 ERA in this time, and he's going today. I'm really, really excited about him going. I was hoping he would save it for the wild card game, but the Cardinals can't win a game right now, so we get Jack Flaherty. It's fine. In the American League, I still don't have your answer.
Verlander?
Or Cole.
Or Cole. Yep.
I mean, what Cole has.
Cole's been
Yeah.
What
fantastic.
Cole has done. I believe that Justin Verlander has the best mechanics in baseball. The way that he gets his arm up and comes straight through it and just uses everything straight down into the ball and doesn't sling it, doesn't put too much strain on his shoulder. It's perfect.
I can't believe he's still doing it at this level.
Well, I am based on those mechanics.
Yeah, and that's interesting. You can still do it at that.
Because
age,
I
at
remember
that
him
time.
coming in with Liriano, and I thought Liriano would be better.
Well, Liriano, no, the way he threw his slider, it didn't surprise me at all that he hurt his arm.
Well, I was 12, so I didn't know that.
You know that. So you're like,
That's fair. That's fair.
Do you think Cole is this good and
Right.
he's going to get paid?
So this is the thing. This is my I think my hesitation is that it's so believable for Verlander. Cole, yes, obviously what he's been doing, but I think this is going to be his career year. Verlander's is essentially 2 straight years of this in Houston, right?
So it's like, yeah, I'm not shocked.
So I mean, this is what he does. I mean, also not to mention the juice ball hasn't helped him at all. The reason his BABIP is lower is because balls in play have gone out of the yard, so that's not even a ball in play.
Right.
So it should be higher a little bit, but still be like 240 or something along those lines. But Cole, the problem with me buying into Cole is that his fastball is as good as it's ever been. I mean, it's ridiculous what he's doing with it now and his command of it. Verlander has had this fastball forever.
Yep.
And so it's a little bit more believable for me that it's going to be consistent for Verlander moving forward. I mean, I want Verlander to get it just because he got 2016 pulled away from him, and he didn't deserve that. So, and he got no hitter. There you go, guys. Just give him
There you
that.
go. Give him that. Do you back to the juice balls real quick?
Yeah, go.
It doesn't seem like this era is going away anytime
Well,
soon.
okay, hold on.
It-
Maybe.
Is it? Is
yeah,
it?
okay, so this is
Manfred might come back down to earth.
no. He finally admitted to it,
Yeah.
and it's ridiculous. After
But he didn't do anything about it. He just admitted it.
Well, you can't do anything.
Well,
in
he's
the
been
middle of the season.
gaslighting us the entire year.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the-
I mean, what's he going to do though in the middle of the season though?
Yeah, well, you can't. But
Well, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
you
Maybe
say, no,
this,
you can say things though. You can say like, okay, we
Right.
address this, we understand
this offseason
we
they'll probably
identify
do
the
something.
problem, etc., and then that we are going to adjust this.
But he didn't say
Well, no, of course not.
that. Right.
And which is just, I mean, it's just from all of us. It's just maddening, you know. It with any sort of boss or anything like that, you're like, you have to. How are you making these decisions? You just like be honest with us. That's all you want, because we're clearly not wrong about this.
But can we trust them to be honest if they look at this and say this is good for business?
Can you say that about any commissioner?
No, I know. I agree, and
Right.
that's kind of
Well,
the
right,
question
yeah.
I'm asking,
So-
right? Like, yeah.
So we don't know. I mean, is it good for business? Is my other question.
I mean, is attendance up this year? I haven't looked at these numbers. Is attendance up this year?
The Marlins gained
even-
3 more
okay,
fans on
even-
average. They did. No, legit. It was 3 more.
Yeah, 4 showed up. But I mean, even if you said that attendance is up,
Right.
Can you really say it's a juice ball?
So
Ratings, too.
you can't because
I would argue
Well,
that
here-
social media presence has gone way up. They
Yes.
definitely focus more on that, and that's a huge
And that's
aspect.
good.
Yes,
That's a huge
however,
job. Yes.
Major League Baseball might, in their minds, rationalize it, be like, "Oh, hey, it worked."
That's totally
Because
possible.
That's
yeah.
what people do.
and that's what I could see, and they'll look back and say, "Hey, when we talk about the juiced era in the '90s, you know, you had the whole chicks dig the long ball, that campaign. People like that. People seem to like the long ball. We all said that we were into the McGuire Sosa
Yeah, sure.
race and all.
They
that,
need somebody
all that
to get
stuff.
85 home runs, and then they'll be like, all right, we're going to stop this.
I mean,
That's
if
the
Judge
bad.
was
See, and I
healthy
wa-
this year for the full year, maybe that would have happened.
But I wonder about that, right? Like, where does it get to the point where it's quote unquote ridiculous, right? Where
When
they're
Ahmed
like, "Oh, this is
Rosario
too
gets
much."
35 home runs
Well,
next year.
okay, so I am curious. There is actually talk that the balls are going to be different next year. This is, I mean, we don't know.
Can we just play with regular baseballs? Like, is that not an option?
What is
What is
regular
that?
baseball?
Yeah. I was
Oh,
going to ask that. I was going to ask that. Nick asked the same
Right?
thing. Like, what is a regular baseball?
I
Go
mean,
to
so
Steiner's or
technic-
something and just get one.
So,
Like,
so technically, well, what is okay? So technically, the corks are much tighter and better and more true. So when they go off the bat, there isn't any sort of inconsistency off the ball, and that's why it's going. So it's not like, I mean, when you say juiced ball, I mean, what is the image in your head of this baseball?
For me, it's that if
you take a baseball, you stick a needle in it like a steroid.
Yeah, right, there it is.
It's a little
put it into
it's a little
home
swollen.
runs. You just pump
like
them
you know how when dudes take steroids, I don't know, but I hear that they get a needle shoved up their ass. So like with the baseball, basically you just take one of the seams, you just put the needle in, and then boom, you have a juiced ball.
Not
That's
up.
what I think.
It's not up. It's just the butt cheek. They just put it in the.
Well,
butt
that's what I
cheek,
meant.
right? It's
I didn't
not
mean
up.
literally up the ass.
That's what
Yeah.
you said.
But
But
like
you said
in
up
the
the ass.
in the ass.
You
cheek.
literally said up the ass.
No, I know,
Like
but
you
like,
literally said up
because
the
it was comedically better. Like sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Jokes
Yeah.
are better than facts.
ass.
Sometimes.
I guess.
Occasionally.
Oh, ooh, that's a phrase.
Occasionally.
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 So yeah,
Not often, Twitter.
yeah,
Relax.
I don't know where this is going or how this is going to play out, but I'm not here for the juice balls.
No, I don't
No,
think
man.
any of us are, honestly. And really, I just got to say, we loved it as kids, as steroid era. And even so, like this year, we still have seen more home runs ever.
Listen,
by
as
an unbelievable amount.
as a lifelong Met fan, I saw Pete Alonso crying after he hit the record-setting home run, and I rolled my eyes. That's where I am with the juice balls.
Ouch.
That's where I am with the juice balls. And shout out to Pete Alonso because that's a remarkable accomplishment. But I just I don't know how to measure that.
Well, right. Well, I am happy for the Mets, though. The fact that he's doing it and it's not someone else in the league. You have to give him credit. He has 53 home runs. Not everyone has 53 home runs, regardless of the juice
that's
ball.
true.
He
And
has this, and that's great. It's not. I'm not going to give an asterisk to it because he's excelling on the field in a way that other guys aren't. And yes, relative to Judge, I get it.
Yeah,
He can have
I just
that.
don't know.
Fine.
I just don't know how to measure it because the balls are so juiced.
Measure it
Like,
as awesome.
Like Omar Narvaez has
see,
25 home runs.
I see him just saying that, and measuring it as awesome. That's kind of where I came around to even the steroid era, right? Like, I'm a supporter. I think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, 100%.
He
It's not
absolutely
even
should be in the Hall of
close.
Fame.
Yeah.
Especially if you
No
look,
one else. Everyone was on steroids, but he did this. Okay, great. He was great.
and if you want to say
and he was doing that
we don't
before.
know, we don't know
allegedly.
when
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
juicing. Like
Right,
none of
yeah.
us know.
He was
But a
Hall of
lot of
Fame
people
before,
don't think in
But
Pittsburgh
you
he
can
was.
see. You can
But
see.
you kind of can see when he physically changed.
Yeah.
If you go
His
to
head got big.
if you go to that point, which for a lot of people is 97 or 98, right? Like if you go to that point and you look at his numbers even before that, they're insane.
No, he was a Hall of Famer beforehand. And
Yes.
he actually has even said he saw all the attention that McGuire and Sosa got, and he got pissed off.
And he said, and so he said, "Yo,
I'm not even joking. That's
he's
what
like,
happened.
I'm better than these dudes.
Right,
I'm going
well, why
to
am I not
getting
yeah.
this attention." I understand. I'm not saying it's right. I understand it. And like you said, he was a Hall of Famer before that, Nick. If you want to have that line or time or whatever, so I'm with you. You know what I look
So should
at?
Clemens.
You have a juice ball. You have people juicing. People still were putting up numbers. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Just call it that and let it be that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's fine. All right, let's look at the league in this season. How interesting did you find this season? What do we had? 400 win teams do we have?
Yeah, it was okay. So
You got like 4 50-win teams. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm terrified because the
Uh-oh.
CBA is coming, and I am
Oh,
terrified that a
2021?
strike is coming.
Oh, man.
Because this is what's happening: is you're seeing less parity than you used to. I mean, even entering the year, it was a surprise that the Twins were this good. But essentially,
Sure.
everything was exactly as we expected with the American League.
Would you add another wild card?
No. Well, no.
No. Wait, that's a thought? Is that actually a
No.
thought?
That's an idea I've heard been floating
never
around.
heard that.
Yes. Yes.
I've never heard
No.
that.
Yes.
No, that's a terrible idea.
I love the
Yes.
second wild
If
card. I thought it was a
anything,
good idea, but-
just extend the division series to 7. That's what I would do. It's
I'm actually a fan
crazy.
of that.
It's crazy to me that you have a better chance of beating a good team in the championship series than you do the division.
I'm actually a fan of that, so I'm with you.
Well,
That
it's
makes no
weird.
sense to
It's
me,
weird
so.
because I like it in
Basketball
the
does it?
but I like it in the reverse for basketball. I liked it better when it was best of 5.
I'm torn on that.
Because you have Allen
basketball.
Houston being the Heat.
Yes.
No.
That was a great
Hey, I
pick.
was a fan as a
That was
kid.
a
All
great
right.
pick.
No, but it's not even that. It's
Off the
just
backboard.
It's just because in basketball, typically, well, not this year, but typically you'll have less parity. So usually, if it's what, and Howard Becker said this on his podcast too, and he said this when he was up here, I think, when you get 1 versus 8. Well, that's another thing too. The disparity between teams is much greater in basketball
Well, yeah.
that make the playoffs.
Than in the baseball
So
playoffs,
when you
yeah.
get 1 versus 8, you don't want to watch 4 games of that, or it's 5 or whatever. Like just 3 and get out of here. Thank you for coming. Whatever. Like
I understand that. I do understand all that. I do think there's something to you play
but in
162
baseball, I think it
games.
makes sense to go.
Well,
to
this
7.
is a really good way of putting it. Is that most pitching staffs to get 100+ wins, you don't need just 1 or 2 good starters. You need a full rotation. You need at least 3, not 4. But if you get to a DS, I mean, it's essentially 1.5 starters that you need. You need
great
one
point.
ace. And I remember actually the Yankees against the Twins when Johan Santana was on the Twins, where they almost lost Game 2. I think it was like 2007 or 2006, before he was a Met, of course.
Yes.
Where they lost against Johan Santana, and the Yankees came back to win in the 9th against their second starter. If they didn't win that, then they won the other games that Johan Santana didn't pitch. But they would have lost that series because they had an ace. So all they needed to go is 1 for 3, essentially, against their non-aces. And that's not a good thing. A baseball team is not just one ace. Right? It's a lot of pitchers. It's a lot of depth. And I want that to be a thing. I want that to be an important measure of a team.
That's
I
excellent
like that.
So
point.
here's the problem with the Astros. I mean, everyone's talking about the addition of Greinke. It doesn't matter because you already have 2. You have Cole and Verlander. Sure, it elevates the chances if, someone beats Cole or Verlander, fine, you have Greinke as a good backup option. But that really, honestly, wasn't a major play because you're trying to, as the Astros, you're trying to make them beat Verlander and Cole. That's it. And if they can't beat that, then you lose. And that's really still going to be the MO of these teams. So the more that you can extend the series and make them be exposed to their weaknesses, the better. Give it to the more balanced team. This is why the Cardinals, 83 wins, and they won the World Series.
Yeah. I was gonna break.
This.
I was thinking about
I hate this
that
so much.
No, so you were bothered that they 83 wins and they got
They got hot at the right time, and that
yeah.
was also a situation where they could just, the ALDS, then there wasn't. The 83-win team, they were still that same team, but they just it was a war of attrition, and they got through it.
Do you like the single-game wild card, though?
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like
It's
that
the
adds
best.
tension. Yeah.
Because there are people who are anti that.
No, it's great.
and
No,
feel
that
that's
adds a
the
lot
side
of
the team.
emphasize and win the division, and
Me
it also
too.
gives
I'm
a
with
chance.
you.
It's not just like it was for ages, the Yankees and the Red Sox. It doesn't really matter who wins the division. Now it does.
I like that.
Oh,
I'm
it's
with
so
you.
And a
great.
few years
That's
ago,
what I liked about the second wild card coming in.
I mean,
having
and a
that.
few years ago when the Mets, after their World Series season, when they had the wild card at home, like that was they lost, but that was a very tension-filled, exciting game.
Giants.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
against the
remember.
Giants.
I remember making a bet actually that the Mets wouldn't make the playoffs next year after making it to the World Series. And then my friend said, "See, they made it to the playoffs." I'm like, did they really though? Because they weren't going to win that game.
You know what's funny? It doesn't feel like it.
No one thought that they were going to win against Bumgarner.
Here's something I would like to add.
And Familia blew the save.
I
They
don't
had a
think.
chance.
I think if you lose the wild card game, you shouldn't be counted as a playoff team.
Wow.
Only if you
You're
don't
not
lose. No, I'm not going to
They
agree
did-
with that because the Royals won from that wild card. I mean, you're saying if they lose, they shouldn't be considered.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
shouldn't
he's
be
saying-
considered.
But they got a chance though.
I think you're still a playoff team.
Yeah,
I
you're a
guess.
playoff team.
You're still a playoff team.
Do you?
I do like that in baseball. Only a third of the teams
Division-
make it to the playoffs.
And division winner holds a bigger weight still. Your
That's
playoff
true.
team, they would just you won the division. That's
Does
bigger.
it bother you? I don't know. It kind of bothers me. I said this to you before. Baseball, I think they do a little bit too much with the celebrating after each round.
Oh yeah,
of
I
winning.
think that's funny.
It's a little bit much.
like, okay, I made the playoffs. We got champagne.
Got it.
and- yeah.
Totally fine with
Oh
that.
no, I would.
I don't
no,
mind
no.
it.
I personally am like, yeah, I win as a player. I'd be like, no, I'm not celebrating until we
Yeah,
win the
division
World
series celebration.
No, I agree.
Until we win the World Series, I'm not celebrating.
I would. I
I'm
would.
with you.
I would
We're on the
celebrate.
same page
I
with
would
that.
celebrate a division title.
It gotta be
No,
focused.
I'm totally fine with celebrating making the playoffs and getting into winning the division. I think that is a
But not
absolute
each series.
No, man.
Not
I
each
would, I would
Okay,
be the
yeah.
guy like,
No,
are you
I
proud
agree.
of this? Like, no, we got to focus. We got to.
I'd
Yeah.
be that.
We got a goal. And we got
Because I think these guys play 162 games. They play a lot. I'm totally
they
fine
want
with
to
getting
ride,
into the
yeah.
playoffs. You want to
Yeah.
celebrate and have a champagne celebration. I've been in the locker room for these. It's the clubhouse. I'm all with it. After the division series, no. After the LCS,
you're-
Sure.
no.
You like what the New York Rangers did a few years ago when they were going to the Stanley Cup and they were presented with the trophy that you get as an Eastern
Yeah.
Conference championship, and they were like, "Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
we won
Right.
the
Yeah, I
Stanley
like
Cup."
that. Yeah.
I'll say this: the funniest part about the whole champagne of winning the division or whatever, making it to the playoffs,
Yeah.
is that it's called the hangover lineup, which is the next day for fantasy games. You might want to have the pitcher that's going against them because that's going to be the B lineup, and it's a hilarious thing. That's just the product of these celebrations.
It sounds like you're very high on Houston. I don't know if you are because you're also a Yankee fan.
I'm a Yankee fan. I mean,
Are you concerned about their pitching? By the way,
the Yankees?
Yes.
I mean, the fact that Paxton's getting cheeky on us is a little bit terrifying, and the fact that yes, that was a joke. And the fact that Severino just walked 4 guys yesterday, I am a little bit. We'll see how Tanaka looks today.
No Domingo.
I very much believe in this Yankee team, though. It's kind of nuts how many injuries they've endured this entire season.
They've had a lot.
It's unreal what they've gone through. Yeah. And
do they have the pitching to win?
Of course they do. I mean, it's the fact that you're focusing on the pitching but not the hitting, because their pitching doesn't need to be 1 earned run, 0 earned runs.
That's true. The balls are still juiced. So
I mean,
they play a Yankee Stadium.
The Yankee lineup is ridiculous. I mean, with the amount of depth too. If one guy isn't doing it, fine, we'll just do the other guy. You know, they have so many options in that lineup that I have to believe that the pitching is good enough, and the bullpen is still great.
Yes,
even without Dylan Betances.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's still phenomenal. So you just need a 6-inning, 2 earned run game from one of these starters.
Get quality starts from the starters, 6 innings, and you'll
even
be fine.
3 earned runs, you're still in it, because you'll get to that bullpen of the Astros, of the Twins
that's where
easily. And that's, I mean, how many times have the Yankees come back and won this year? 1,000,000 times.
I was going to say, are you confident that if the Yankees and Astros match up in the LCS,
that's going to be the greatest.
I
cannot wait.
Can you guys hit Cole? Can you guys hit Verlander and get to that bullpen?
So, I mean, even if you get only 1 or 2 off of them, which, by the way, they do that a lot. Verlander just allowed 3 yesterday. Okay, it's not like it's unheard of. Not to mention really high home run per 9 from Verlander. That's how he gives up all of his runs. He even was complaining about it, if you remember, in June.
Yeah, do remember that.
He had near 2 home run per 9 at that point. Okay, 2 home runs a game. Sweet.
Yeah.
That sounds great. That still could be good enough. And the fact that these guys have also lost games, and they haven't played the Yankees every single time. And they're not this unstoppable force. You know, it's not a sub-2 ERA from them.
Right.
This is something that's very much playoff baseball. Anything can happen. And I'm not saying necessarily that I'm favoring the Yankees. I mean, the Astros lineup itself is amazing. Bregman is an MVP contender. I mean, it's not DJ LeMahieu, but
right.
I love that, man. That's like the greatest signing ever. It's one of the most underrated signings by Cashman. The second that happened, everyone was so upset that we were out on Machado. Yes, I'm a Yankee fan. I try not to show it. But the fact that LeMahieu outperformed Machado this year is just ridiculous. I love it.
It's crazy. You gotta love it.
But yeah, the Astros, I mean, I hope that is the series. I would be very upset if the Rays, the Athletics, or the Twins advance. I'm sorry for the small market people, but you're just stealing away one of the greatest series we're going to have in a long time. It's going to be amazing.
I would be excited to see it. Hopefully, the Yankees don't choke against the Twins or anything like that, because that would be.
But if you had to bet your money on a World Series, would you still take the Yankees, or would you take Dodgers?
What are the odds?
Astros?
What are the odds?
Would you take Dodgers Astros?
What are the odds?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
I would imagine the odds are not in the Yankee favor. In that case, I would take the Yankees. But I would say if it's like all 50-50 even and stuff, obviously you want to do the chalk.
But what about just knife to your throat?
I mean,
if someone had to make.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
okay.
Astros. Dodgers.
I like how you brought back knife to your throat. I like that.
Yeah, that's what I want him to bring back all the time.
So we had a discussion a while ago about, because he was asking somebody else, gun to your head, and then I was like, why is it gun to your head, not knife to your throat? Because knife to your throat is a little more forceful than gun to your head. What if the gun is jammed?
It's more messy.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Yo, Nick is like, what kind of podcast is this?
But Nick, you know me, bro. Like, know how I get down.
What about pushing you outside of an airplane? How about that?
Oh, why is it like you're off the ledge of the airplane?
Yeah.
Go skydiving, no parachute.
No. Listen, we already talked about skydiving.
That's scary and dangerous.
I don't like
no
heights.
Parachute?
Well, I'm just saying, if you're going to be in a violent threat situation where you can lose your life, it would have to be that,
People
right?
do that skydiving?
No. Nobody does that. Yeah.
Favorite sleeper pitcher in baseball this season, from this season?
Well, okay, so we're looking forward to 2020? Or
yes, you think they can keep it up?
Edwin
They had a
Diaz.
great year this year. Do you think they can keep it up moving forward?
Oh, that's a really good question. Well, I will say, guys, that I'm really excited about for next year that no one's talking about.
Give us a few.
Griffin Canning. I mean, essentially the Angels.
Yeah, you've been talking about Griffin Canning all season.
His stuff is so good. Same
heavily featured on pitcher lists.
Andrew Heaney as well. His
teammate
too. Love him. The thing I love the most when it comes to pitching approaches is separation of your fastballs up and then your secondary stuff down. Andrew Heaney does this really well. And what that does is that you can throw up and then stay on the same tunnel, and then the pitch will just come down and separate. And you can't tell as a hitter, should be looking up, should be looking down, and what is this out of his hand? And if you have that good separation, I mean, it's just really tough to hit. And then you still need to hit it even if you can guess it. So I love the way that Andrew Heaney does that. Griffin Canning is moving in that direction as well. Their old teammate, Garrett Richards, actually has 3 starts in the the Padres right now. He's coming back from Tommy John.
Yep.
Could be something really cool to watch in 2020.
Right.
Guys that have done well, I mean, I don't want to say, some people are going to talk about Mike Soroka a lot. Very nice young talent. I love the way he pitches. Incredibly smart. He's only 21 right now. He'll be 22 next year, which is stupid. For how smart he is.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's going to be that strikeout overwhelming guy. You want me to say Ryu?
No, because he's
You felt like
here.
he's pressuring you into that?
Ryu's legit. He's here.
I
What do you mean?
okay. I mean, no, this is his.
What about
his
Chris
career
Paddock?
year. Chris Paddock is going to be interesting. I think there are going to be a lot of people that expect another step of growth, which could happen out of his curveball. That hasn't really been a thing that he developed this season. I'm not too high on him because of that Vulcan change. Because generally, split changes, you know this.
Yeah.
Split changeups are the most, or splitters in general, are the most inconsistent pitches in baseball.
Yep.
It's such a field pitch. It's something that you have on a given day or you don't.
Hello,
It's what was so
Masahiro Tanaka.
That's what was so crazy
Yeah.
about Tanaka was that it was so consistent for a while.
Damn.
And then it can just disappear on you. We actually even saw that with Chris Paddock starts this year. So I'm worried that he doesn't have elite velocity. It's like 94, 95, but it's not your 98, 99 or so that we can see from other guys, right? So he's going to rely a lot on that fastball when that changeup isn't there, and that's a little bit worrisome for me, and we need to see that curveball to take the next true step. But it could work out really well. I mean, Walker Buehler is still, to me, top 10, like amazing. He's the better pitcher on the team right now than Kershaw. And that's really weird to say.
Okay. Yeah.
You mentioned fit earlier with Marcus Stroman, and obviously he's going to be back with the Mets this year. Are you concerned about him having a full season there behind there?
I don't like him. I'm sorry. I mean, I've always been concerned. You know, I hate two-seam guys. I hate sinker ballers. I hate guys that really focus a lot on ground balls. It's funny because as a college pitcher, that's what I did. That's what I was taught. Shoot knees with two-seamers and jam them inside and get ground balls, and that's how you get out.
So why don't you like him now?
Because it's just not how the game went really. With Mike Trout showed up and was like, hey, I'm a really good low ball hitter because when I was in college, this is all I saw. And this is what everyone saw. And I mean, actually, I don't even know if you went to college. He was a high schooler.
He was straight out of high school.
But that's what everyone was doing in high school then too.
Yeah.
And he could hit the low ball better than anybody. And now everyone can hit the low ball no problem. So you have to throw four-seamers up. That's what you do. That is the ticket to success. That's what Cole does. That's what Verlander does. That's what Blake Snell does. That's what Jacob deGrom does.
And so you think if you can't do that, you're not going to be able to survive?
If you can't do that, well, you can survive. You just need to put it in the right spot. You need to induce him off the plate inside. Like you see some of the guys on the Marlins, like Sandy Alcantara. You see Jose Urena. You see Robert Ducker. These guys do this all the time, and they can have these games. You just look at them and go, what is this? How did he do that?
How did he do it? But it's
that's how you do it. You're just getting bad swings on balls that get into play and ground balls, and there are outs. But it's not something you're going to dominate with. And Stroman, he has actually a really good slider / cutter. His cutter tries to get all of these strikes inside and stuff, and then slider can be ridiculously filthy, but it's just not consistent.
Yeah.
It's not something that the Mets also, I think, as an organization, aren't trying to push so much. And when they do, they're not really. We've seen games of like 45% usage of a slider, which is really high.
Yeah.
Normally we see like 30% or so from a guy. So seeing it that much and that reliance should be good, but he still goes to that sinker and he gets these grounders, and it's not going to work with your defense. So unless you focus on that,
Thanks, Nick.
Get Ray Ordonez back. You know,
Boy.
Oh, the days of Ray
and John Olrud.
Well, if
we had a great defensive infield.
if Ahmed Rosario can,
That's a big if.
be how he's supposed to be, then whatever.
Who did you have?
Remember, Sandy Alcantara, by the way, is the one who got me to erase the Never Trust a Marlin thing that we did on the
I am
show.
so proud of that.
To change it to Never Trust a
a
Met
Met.
because he had a complete game shutout against them.
I remember
This
that.
is back when they sucked.
The
in
All-Star,
May.
by the way.
Yes. Yes,
Listen,
I remember that. I
was-
laughed at that when I saw that.
Everyone
When I saw you got.
It should have been Caleb Smith, but he was hurt, I think.
Who do you have coming out of the National League? It seems like you could be
Cy Young?
Yankees. No, to go to World Series.
Dodgers.
No, Dodgers.
Yeah.
It has to be Dodgers.
You don't think anybody?
It could be Washington, but I think it's going to be the Dodgers.
What?
Well, first of all, they need to win a playoff
Yeah,
series.
can they win a playoff
Yeah.
series first? I was about to say that.
And
I
they
mean, no,
need to win the wild
not
card.
Washington. Atlanta. Sorry, Atlanta.
I would actually favor if the
I like
Nationals
Atlanta.
if the Nationals make it to the DS, I would favor them over the Braves. The Braves pitching staff is not good enough. I'm sorry. It's
You don't
Soroka
like,
isn't
you
going to
don't like Soroka. You don't like Julio Teheran
Soroka
either.
isn't going to go deep enough. I don't
Yeah.
think. I mean, he's going to try and get those outs 6, 7. Maybe he will once or twice. But Fried is way too inconsistent. Julio Teheran, come on. Fulton Evans is looking better.
Yeah, Fulton Evans. He's looked stronger towards
Right,
that,
and Dallas Keuchel, he's not the Dallas Keuchel of the
Keuchel,
2017 ALCS.
So basically, you're saying you don't trust anybody in that rotation.
Yeah, and
Other-
I don't.
other
And their
than
bullpen
Dodgers.
too has been
Is
something that's gone in and out.
suspect,
Mark Melancon has stepped in and done a great job. We have Luke Jackson, who was the unluckiest pitcher in baseball I mean, I'm not even joking. My staffer Michael Ajedo had an incredible article talking about like let's just look at the Luke Jackson games and just how terrible his luck was. It was fantastic.
I'm about to read that.
Oh, please do. It's really good. But the staff and the bullpen itself, not that great. And also, the offense for the Braves, I'm not so sold, is amazing.
I think it's solid.
I like their
top
offense a lot.
heavy. I love Freeman. I love
bottom of the lineup is.
But I don't know how.
It's suspect.
I agree, and I also don't know how these guys are going to play, particularly Ozzy Albies, Ronald Acuna Jr., who I both love, but I don't know how they're going to be in the playoffs.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, I think Acuna was going to kill it. I think he's going to be great. He's going to try and will it with Donaldson and Freeman.
I wish the Mets had him. I would like.
Well, of course.
Honestly.
I mean, he's one of those guys. I remember, I wish the Yankees had Mookie Betts, but
right.
We can't have all the things that we want.
You almost do, though.
With the Yankees, a Yankee fan says he can't have all the things. They almost do. You almost get
you can't have everything. This is what's going to happen in the offseason. The Red Sox are going to trade Mookie Betts, and the Yankees are going to trade for Mookie Betts from that team.
No way.
God.
That would depress me.
Yes, it would depress me.
That would depress me.
Wait,
one more pitching question from me. Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs. Yeah. What do you see that historically he just hasn't been?
I mean, that's just sample.
Small sample.
That's all you attribute it to?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you feel like he's going to break through eventually?
No. He is not a guy that mentally isn't strong. Like he is one of the. No. I don't buy any of that whatsoever.
No, I'm with you in that. I think that's an overrated thing sometimes, especially in baseball.
Because he is 30, and this is a recurring sort of thing.
Remember, people said that
not last year. No, I mean he's actually like the past 2 seasons.
I mean,
as
his
a Dodger.
playoff numbers don't look great.
Well, they
year.
weren't.
What were they? Let's hear them.
Yeah,
let's go.
Which metric do you want?
All of them.
Not wins.
Not wins, obviously. he doesn't have any. But his ERA
was it one game?
His ERA was 7, over 7.
And he had that one bad start against.
That's gotta be that one start
9 earned runs and 11 innings pitched.
He had one bad start though.
That was the one game.
What was that game
Astros.
against the Astros?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That got him.
He
got what he gave, like 6 runs or
closed
something?
out
Well, that was in the World Series, and then in the NLCS,
he closed out again.
Right.
Then in the CR in the NLCS. What was I about to say? In the NLCS, his ERA was above 4.
I'm not buying this.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
You're fine with him.
Yeah.
Do you remember? You remember this? Remember people were Barry Bonds couldn't get it done in the postseason.
Oh, of course.
And then finally he got it done.
That home
against
run is so majestic.
Yeah.
Even though it didn't matter, it was still. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
The 12-10 home run against the Angels.
Against the Angels, but he finally broke through.
Right.
And I kind of agree with you. Do we overrate postseason numbers?
Of course we do. We're talking about 162.
We do it with Tom Brady all the time, but you don't want to hear me say that.
Eli Manning.
That's another discussion for another day.
That is true. We talked about that in our last
162 game season. We're talking about this, and all of a sudden we got to get 2 starts, 3 starts. We're going to judge a guy on that.
I agree.
I
think it's a bit overrated.
Yep.
I don't think Clayton Kershaw is not mentally tough to pitch in the playoffs.
It's nothing.
I actually think it means more that the Nationals haven't won a playoff series and haven't gotten that done to their psyche and what they can do than actually.
I mean,
how
I'll be honest with you. I think we put a lot of focus on the mental game. I mean, it's funny in the regular season we don't at all. We don't think about the ups and downs
because people don't think it matters,
right? But it does for them. But then the postseason, then the pendulum swings too far over
because now everybody's watching. Whereas
right.
a lot of these same people aren't paying attention to the playoffs, and that's not even a baseball thing. I think that's just across sports. Where remember LeBron was a choker.
Yeah, we love narratives.
LeBron was a choker in 2011, 2010, whatever, because he wouldn't post up my boy JJ Barea, and then all of a sudden he overcame it the next year. I think that gets a little overplayed.
He played a bad series. That's all it is.
You want to know the solution to all this? You just talk to the guy, and you realize, like, oh yeah, I'm having a great time. I'm in the World Series. I really wanted to do that, but I couldn't this time. And
I just didn't. Right.
And you're like, oh wait,
they're so matter of fact about it. Yeah.
They're not freaking out like we are. Like you imagine yourself, if you all of a sudden are thrust into that situation, you are going to be terrified.
Yeah.
But these guys have gone through this for their entire lives.
Yeah.
They're so used to these pressure moments.
All that said, though,
think that there are some wild.
I was gonna say, there are some guys that it definitely affects and it falls under that category. But for the vast majority of them,
I think it's much.
No,
I think it's
you got to be almost robotic with your emotions anyway.
We got to talk about something,
right? And we're forcing it. So is Clayton Kershaw not a big game pitcher? No, man. Clayton Kershaw is a damn good pitcher, and he will break through. and have great starts in the playoffs or the World Series, he'll get it done.
Maybe.
He's probably
Or
gonna
maybe
be their
he might
game
not.
one. I don't know if they've announced actually who their game one starter is. I would hope it's Kershaw, but it honestly could be
It could
Bueller.
be. It could be my boy Ryu.
Okay.
And that's great. That might actually, if you want to talk about a narrative
Take the
of mental
pressure
stuff,
off him.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I see it, Nick.
With the air quotes.
It'll take the pressure.
Oh, beautiful.
And you know what? He'll start game 3, and he'll pitch like 8 innings of 1-run ball,
And no one will care.
Everybody will say, no, they'll say, that Clayton Kershaw, he stepped up and got the sweep. Let's say they're up 2-0 and it's on the road, and he's got to get the sweep. He stepped up now in the big moment. It's like
I would think it would be the other time, like, oh yeah, but do it when it matters.
Oh,
Yeah.
you think they'll say that to him? They'll be like,
Right,
do it when it really counts, when you're down
Yeah,
3-2 in
exactly.
the series and on the road.
You're going against a good pitcher and you win 1-0 or something
because
like
that win matters so
yeah,
much.
so much. Oh man.
So
Oh,
Dodgers,
God.
Astros. Dodgers,
Dodgers,
Astros.
Astros.
Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. I'm leaving it to Nick. You know what? I think here's the thing. You know what? Here's my prediction. I think the Yankees are going to beat the Astros. I'm going to say that. I think it's Dodgers, Yankees. That's my.
I'm
World Series prediction.
going chalk Dodgers, Astros. With the Astros winning.
Because what I want to see is I want to see Yankees Dodgers so badly. I think that would just be so much fun.
We do. You know, I don't know if you know about our numbers from the podcast. We do we pick a number of somebody in sports their jersey corresponds with the episode number. So Brian always
Not a lot of
list.
baseball, unfortunately. Not a lot of guys
No.
wearing 96.
Do you know anybody who wore 96 in baseball?
No.
One player I found
imagine
who
some
did
players have done the reverse, but
69. Gotcha.
Tommy Hunter is the only baseball player I found.
that's the person I was going to bring up. So I'm happy that
He was
you.
a pitcher.
That's right.
Oh, Tommy
I
Hunter.
feel like he should.
Tommy Hunter, the Oriole. Oh man. Ooh. Yeah, that's not a name that you want to bring up a lot.
Yeah, I didn't.
The
think
rest
so.
of them
I
are
was like,
basically football players.
Yep, that sounds
So
right.
we have-
not his.
We'll just get
specialty.
into it because we got to get out of here. Clyde Simmons, Cortez Kennedy, who's really good.
Wow.
Muhammad Wilkerson, your boy.
Why is he my boy?
You covered him.
Yeah, I did. It's making my boy.
It's in your episode of Side Hustle. I found the clip and put that in there.
Thanks.
Carlos Dunlap, Marcus Spears, who's now at ESPN, SEC Network. Reasonable Doubt, which
For the
came
year
out in 96.
1996.
We did it with Illmatic in 94. It was Jay-Z's first album, Nick.
Sure.
You're from Brooklyn. You should
Yeah,
know this.
of course.
Ron Artest, who wore 96 for a little while with the Houston Rockets. He was Meta World Peace then, which, whatever. We know him as
His
Ron.
mama named him Ron Artest.
And Thomas Holstrom, who was a hockey player that I just put there.
How are we not going to mention Nick Lachey? What is this?
Why?
Why?
Oh wait, it's 98 degrees. I am
It's 98
so
degrees,
sorry.
not 96 degrees. Yeah, I was like, wait, why? I was like, no, 98 degrees.
You know what? That's what I get.
96
That's what I get.
degrees.
No, it's 98. It's
No, I just
definitely-
want to look up. Is there a 96? Oh, no. Third World made a song called 96 Degrees in the Shade. You know who
See,
Third
that's
World
what I
is?
was
I
thinking
do,
of.
but thank you.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah,
Who
of
we
course.
Who we going with here? Do we want to go Tommy Hunter?
No one wants to go Tommy Hunter.
Reasonable Doubt.
All right, reasonable doubt it is. We're gonna go with that. Brooklyn guy, reasonable doubt. We'll go with
or
that.
Cortez Kennedy.
No, we'll go reasonable doubt.
All right,
we'll go with that. Nick, thank
Since
you for
we went with Nas before, we'll go with Jay-Z
Jay-Z.
now, I guess, since they're kind of even.
Okay, you sound happy about that.
What?
Uh,
I'm just
Nick, thank
They
you
are.
thank you so much, everybody. You can
To some
check
people.
out Nick Pollack's work at Pitcher List. You can also check out QB List, the website. Stay tuned for SwishList.net. Probably one of the best website names there is out there.
SwishList.net.
I'm saying
The
it right
domain
there.
is already
It's
bought.
It's dope.
It's
Oh, yeah,
already
I bought it.
bought.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
definitely
you
bought
go in there, it's been like, oh, the site hasn't launched, but it's here. It's
No,
coming.
it's dope. We like
What's
it.
it going to be? Summer of 2020?
Yeah, exactly.
Summer
All right, so summer 2020.
So
Look
around Olympic time, somewhere around there.
Look
probably.
out for that for sure. Thanks again for joining us. Please be sure to subscribe to us. Everything you know, rate, review us on any platform that you listen to the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast on. We are going to get out of here for Nick Pollack, Brian Fonseca, I'm
Yes.
Dex Henry. Till next time, y'all. Peace.